Albedo 10,000. Chapter 7. A Refusal from Mr. Levin. Albedo scratched his head and yawned long and hard as he walked into the main room of the plumber's base. Asma and the rest of Albedo's team stood there awkwardly, each one staring at him. "What?" Albedo asked with zero energy. "I'm telling you, he isn't gonna like this," Daisy growled through her teeth. "I'm not gonna like what?" Albedo asked back. "He must do it. If anyone else turns up, they will be refused. At least Albedo will get his attention," Asmuth replied. Albedo slammed his hand on the table, shocking everyone. "Tell me what?" Albedo asked once again, now with a bit more aggression. "We need to recruit Kevin, Ethan, Levin," Shards chuckled awkwardly. "Oh, hell no. When Ben was alive, I tormented him, his cousin, and his best friend, aka Kevin," Albedo barked at him. "I gave you the Omnitrix to recruit an army, to join that army to fend off Vilgax, and then you are granted your freedom. So I demand you to do your job, or I'll throw you back in your cell," Asmuth growled. Albedo stood there and let out a sharp sigh. "Fine, who's coming with me?" Albedo asked. Everyone grinned at him with a cocky grin. Albedo, now Jet Ray, flew as fast as he could, bolting through the clouds. He slowed down and looked down at the ground below him. Below him was an abandoned car lot. Cars sat in rows and stacks on top of each other, and there, sat in the middle of all of it, alone, with no cars around, was the Rust Bucket, Max Tennyson's old RV. Jet Ray swooped down and landed on the dirt. In a flash of red, he morphed back into his Albedo form. Albedo walked over to the Rust Bucket. Its paint had worn out, and on one side the window had been smashed, with a trash bag taped in front of it to keep it from being harmed further. Albedo walked over to it and knocked on the door with a small rattle. "Kevin? Kevin? Come on, man," Albedo barked. He rattled the door once again with his knuckle, but again he was met with no response. Albedo turned around and was suddenly hit in the face so hard he was thrown off his feet and he hit the ground. "You should never come here, Albedo," Kevin grunted. Albedo grunted and felt his jaw as it was in pain as he climbed to his feet. "Hello, Kevin," Albedo said. "Why are you here, freak?" Kevin asked, cracking his knuckles. "Asmuth needs you," Albedo replied. "And I told that small toad that it was his fault that Tennyson died. He put that watch on him and allowed him to keep it. And if you don't leave my home, I'll break every bone in your body," Kevin threatened. Albedo pulled up his sleeve and triggered the Omnitrix. He turned the dial and picked his alien quickly. He slammed his hand down on the dial, and in a flash of red, he transformed into Diamond Head. "Doesn't matter what alien you pick, I'll kick your ass," Kevin growled. He placed his hand on a red car that was nothing more than a metal shell. His entire body became coated in the same red metal. Kevin ran at Diamond Head, his fist tripled in size. He swung one of his oversized fists and slammed it into Diamond Head. His hand shifted into a circle diamond shield, and the shield cracked due to the impact. Diamond Head's other hand shifted into a thick blade. He swung it at Kevin, who jumped back, dodging the attack. Kevin then launched himself forward, both fists extended out, slamming into Diamond Head. He was thrown back, but managed to land on one knee, with his blade in the ground, keeping himself secure. Then he stood, and both his hands shifted back to normal. He aimed both his hands, and multiple diamond shards fired from both his palms, and they flew at Kevin. Kevin raised both his overlarge hands, covering his face, as the diamonds hit his metal-coated arms, and they shattered on impact. "Gotta do better than that, freak," Kevin barked. "Fine, I'm done playing nice," Diamond Head muttered. He slammed his chest, hitting the Omnitrix. In a flash of red, he transformed into Accelerate. Accelerate zoomed ahead, becoming nothing more than a blue and black blur. He sped past Kevin, smacking him in the face. Then he did it again. He hit him in the stomach, and then he ran up and twirled around using his tail to trip Kevin over. He quickly hit the Omnitrix again and turned into Lodestar. He held out both his pincers and emitted his magnetic waves. Kevin started floating off the ground and was thrown into almost every functional 4x4 truck that Lodestar could see. Then Lodestar hit the Omnitrix, and he transformed into Heat Blast, who threw out his hands and a fiery blast exploded from his palms, hitting Kevin directly. The truck that Kevin was on exploded, and Kevin dropped to the ground. His red metallic armor, now scorched, and patch of his clothes and skin was now visible through the cracks and holes in his metallic coating. Kevin stood, his body smoking. Heat Blast then hit the Omnitrix and transformed into Ghost Freak. He flew over and possessed Kevin. Kevin started punching himself in the face. Kevin gripped his head and let out a scream as he rejected Ghost Freak. The ghostly alien flew at Kevin, and he slammed the Omnitrix, transforming into Wild Vine. Wild Vine shoved his hands into the ground, and the vines erupted out from beneath Kevin, and wrapped around him, prisoning him in strong plants.
Would you stop now? We need your help. Vilgax is coming. He is wiping out planet after planet, and his last destination is Earth. He wants to destroy it, the planet that Ben died saving. We have another chance to save Earth, to take revenge, and take down that bastard once and for all.
Wildvine roared. Kevin stopped struggling and looked at Wildvine with a wide eye. Wait, you serious? Kevin muttered. The vine loosened and retracted back into the ground. Wildvine's arms pulled out of the ground and went back to normal, and in a red flash of light, Albedo stood there before him with a heavy breath. Yes, Azimuth gave me the Omnitrix because of this pathetic human form I'm cursed with. It's Ben's DNA, isn't it? So the Omnitrix would work with me. We're building an army. Some good fighters. Kind people. And we need you, Kevin. We need you to return. Come back with me and join us, Albedo pleaded. Kevin's body lost his metallic coat as he looked at Albedo with pure hatred, his eyes filled with sadness that masked by his anger. He then walked over to the rust bucket and he opened the door. Go away, Albedo. If Vilgax comes and blows up the planet, good riddance, Kevin muttered. He stepped up into the rust bucket and slammed the door behind him. The entire vehicle shook as the door closed. The next morning, Kevin stepped out of the RV and saw Albedo sat in front of a makeshift fire he made from loose twigs and shrapnel. He sat down on a laid-down tire, and he looked tired, but he looked at Kevin with a gentle expression. Kevin let out a sigh and picked up a tire and placed it opposite Albedo. As he sat down, he looked at Albedo with a blank expression. I don't want to lose again. What if we lose Azimuth? Or Gwen dies? Or someone else I care about? Kevin shrugged. Actually, Gwen isn't exactly in the group yet. She's at the university right now. Albedo replied. Kevin let out a rather long sigh. You need me to convince Gwen to join her. She ain't gonna listen to someone who has her cousin's face, Kevin stated. That is a part of it, yes, but we also need you. You're a good fighter, and Ben would want you there, fighting with us. In his name and to beat Vilgax or some crap, Albedo replied. Kevin stood and walked around the small fire, and Albedo stood and faced Kevin. Okay, fine. I'm in. But I ain't buying this new hero act, Albedo. You are a slimy snake. Always have been, always will be. And once we destroy Vilgax and his army, you better watch your back, Kevin threatened, poking him in the chest directly on the number 10 on his jacket. Albedo nodded, completely understanding, and then they both headed back to the plumber's base.